What about, so next on the list, I've got...
I think we should do a little more, maybe try to do something to kind of segue
Transitional?
into it instead of like maybe...
That sounds like a lot of work.
Even though it's maybe clear that we're kind of reading off a list or a brainstorming thing, like maybe not say next one on the list. I don't know. It's just a thought. You could say, so have you ever been high and drunk? Like, yeah, obviously. Not high and drunk.
So have you ever been high? So have you ever been high and or drunk?
That face you do is just so good because it's like...
Have you ever been on drugs?
The awkward, like, so, like your Steve Rule face or something. Really? So, have you ever been high?
So.
It's not a big deal.
Oh.
To be high.
It's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So let yourself be high.
Yeah.
So, do you have any high or drunky stories?
Of course. Who doesn't?
Some people.
Oh.
Mormons?
Yeah.
Because don't they only drink milk? That's a fact, right?
That's a really good... Oh, gosh. That was beautiful. Don't they only drink milk?
They don't drink water.
Yes, they do.
They don't drink soda pop.
That was a joke, right?
They only drink milk.
No, they do, fucker. I think they can drink soda. I think they don't drink caffeine. They don't drink alcohol.
Milk.
No. In fact, I had a friend who, she couldn't drink dairy milk because both her and her sister had this condition.
So they're banned
PKU.
from being Mormons.
No. They didn't drink alcohol. They didn't.
I know.
Yet.
I'm sorry.
Stop doing it. Even though you're joking, it's like I'm taking you seriously for some reason.
So anyway.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just thinking about the high story because also I was talking to a coworker about being high. Oh, she tried a cannabis THC drink. She tried a cannabis drink. And she said, I usually have like a fairly high, just not like a super low tolerance. And she said, but I drank this cannabis beer. And she's like, I was so high. And then I thought, I'll drink a little more. I guess she thought that would fix it. I don't know.
Like Harold the dog, except...
Yeah, maybe. But I don't even remember the damn story she was telling me about, just like what she was doing. But it was pretty funny. I hope that's not an ant or a little spider. So then it just made me think of like just not knowing your tolerance, or even though I had this happen before with brownies where one of my sister's exes made homemade, he made the butter, which is like apparently at least back then, like that's what we thought, that was the killer. If you made the butter too strong, or it's all about the butter.
Well, I mean, that's what you put the weed in.
I guess, yeah.
That's what you put
I don't
the
know.
THC
I just popped the thing in my mouth. I didn't ever have any hands-on experience with it. But so the brownies were good. But I had like too many or too much of one, and I got so high, like to like barfing sick high, which I had never been before with that. But it was pretty fun apart from that. Well, so then when I bought, I went to my first like dispensary, or one of the first few times I went, I bought a brownie and I was like, I'm only going to have a small amount. So we were going to go to your art show. It was like a gallery. There were other artists. It was a schmoozy thing. I felt bad that you didn't have any because you were the one who was more uncomfortable. Your stuff hung up there.
But it was just a weird experience.
Yeah, but I definitely I was like, it'll be fun just to have a little bit, see how, high I can get. Are you okay?
Yeah, just changing positions. Don't mind me. Keep going.
And, there were some nice people there. There were some kind of snooty, art gallery people there.
Most people were nice, though.
They were.
It was just kind of weird.
It was weird because it was a bunch of other artists, and I didn't understand that going into it. But it was kind of nice to be kind of getting high, but then it just kept getting worse and worse. And then your parents were there, and then I was like, we got to go. Like, you have to drive. And I'm always the one who drives because I don't mind driving, and Brandon's not super into that. And I was like, you have to drive home. And then we went home to my mom's old house, and we were like laying on the bed or something, and I kept going like, I would like shake my head and be like, what just happened? Like, is it 5 minutes? Is it a half hour? Like, It was pretty crazy. And then we drove to your place in Hillsburg, and that's when you said don't sprain your dankle. That was so funny, and I thought it was so funny. I still think it's really funny.
Well, you said something like it had a sprained ankle, and I was like, well, don't sprain your dankle. I don't know, because it just ran together. It was so
clever. I thought it was clever.
You thought it was clever when you were really, really high.
But I still think it's clever. But yeah. But I just like, I had like a eighth or if that of the brownie, and it was so strong. I think I would have died if I'd eaten any more. It was kind of scary. So that really petered out pretty quickly.
I'm sorry. Well, well, I have a high story from when I was younger. Obviously, if it's past tense, I was younger. So I was with a friend at my folks' house at the dinner table, and I was kind of high, and I was talking really slow. I already talk slow, but I was talking real slow apparently, because my dad started making fun of me. And he was like, oh, he's high. And I just was like, what the fuck?
But he was joking.
He was joking, but I really was high.
So he really it didn't occur to him. Do you think
you think
it occurred to your mom and she just didn't say anything?
I have no idea. I was high.
Because they were very not about that. They were very strict about that.
Very strict about that. But I mean, I didn't do it that much, and I didn't care that much about it. But
you'd think the red eyes and the drooping lids and the
super slow talking, because I talk slow already.
Maybe he just thought you were tired. That's funny. So
oh
then,
my gosh, it was so scary though. He's high, man. I was like, what the fuck?
So how did you respond?
I think I just was like,
I gotta go.
No, I was still sitting there. I just didn't really react that much. I was like, ha, 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 or something. Some kind of stupid, awkward thing.
That's pretty funny.
Super cool. And the time
you getting a good harvest?
Had mushrooms. I'm scratching my nose. I'm not picking my nose.
Right.
You freak?
We can have them believe anything you want them to. Anyway, mushrooms?
Mushrooms.
Fungi?
The time I tried mushrooms.
Was that the first time you'd had them?
I don't remember.
Because that's kind of dangerous by yourself, isn't it?
I don't know. I had some and I was walking around and I felt all stretchy when I was walking around.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Like Gumby?
Yeah, I don't know. I crossed the street, which maybe you shouldn't be walking around on the street if you're hallucinating a little bit. So I crossed the street and I felt like I crossed it in 2 steps. But probably not crossing an entire street. A two-way street. So then when I got back to the house, we had rabbits at the house. So I brought them inside and was just laying on the carpeted floor with them while they just hopped around. And I was just like enjoying being around some rabbits.
I think that's nice. I think that's a nice way to be high.
It was nice.
Just like all in love with your rabbits and natural things or something. Crossing streets in 2 bounds in a single bound. I'm just picturing your legs like stretching out like
for 2
the
steps.
Octopus Man or something. I don't know. Weird. That's weird. That wouldn't feel good because that would just be disconcerting.
The thing I remember most, I think, about taking mushrooms is that it gives you this weird feeling in your jaw. At least for me, it gave me like this weird kind of clenchy, but like good kind of feeling in my jaw.
Like tingly?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. And they taste just like the ones I had, at least, would always taste like sunflower seeds.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So that's that.
That's good.
Story.
It's a good one. What about drunk?
Drunk.
Well, there's a time you got drunk with E-Man, right?
Oh yeah, at the beach.
Should I not mention his name? With your friend?
With my friend. And I filled a squirt gun up with beer and was...
That's so gross.
I was really drunk and I filled this squirt gun. We were at the beach camping with my folks and my whole family or my whole close family, whatever.
Yeah.
And
Nuclear
my friend
family.
was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I was really drunk, and I filled a squirt gun with beer and was squirting him, and he got so pissed. I think he tackled me, and I got sand in my mouth.
I think there's pictures of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then everybody buried me, and they gave me sand legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
That sounds fun. I kind of miss that. Not that I want to encourage you to poison your body, but I kind of am sad that I came in post that. Although you might not have been as present for the relationship if you were like, well, you know how people just like they maybe are. I don't think you were ever like a partier, but you're just not maybe as present for like me too. You know, I think I was definitely like.
I feel like it
drinking
stunts your
more.
brain for sure. All those kinds of substances really don't help. And I'm already slow. I'm already like a slow talker and kind of a slow thinker. So I don't need help stupidifying myself. So it's really helpful to not abuse or use substances.
I don't think you're slow. I think you're just not, you don't drink caffeine. I mean, you did for a while, probably from my peer pressure or just needing to keep up with my manic caffeine brain. But I think I'm slower when I do get like worked up and I get kind of anxious energy, but a lot of it's caffeine. So I think you just process things, you know, at a normal, maybe how we all should be processing them, you know, I don't know, maybe. Yeah. Because I don't find you to be slow. I think you have like more trouble in the morning. Whereas I think really at heart, I am more of a morning person, but I've just resisted it because I just don't want to face the day a lot of times. So I just want to stay in bed. But I think really I do. I mean, you see me hitting the wall at night and you're just like wide awake. Like, I don't think I'm ready to go to bed. And I'm like, oh. Yeah. But then you're up in the morning. I'm like, yeah. No. But so I don't think you're slow. I think that's just like a healthy, sweet, pure body, you know, you're pure of toxins and brain enhancing thing of blurs. Yeah. Blurs? I don't know. But there is a part of me that's still like, oh, I wish I was there to kind of see you be drunk. But I've seen you be like high or like a little bit drunk a couple times, and that's fun. Playing video games and getting a little bit high is fun. But like I never know how I'm gonna react to, like if we have an edible, like sometimes I react and sometimes I don't, and I don't know if it's because I've eaten more or less, because sometimes it's super fun and I just get all giggly and then you give me that look like, oh, there she goes, you know, which is fun. I hope you don't ever feel judged. No, it's just like that look that people give you or they get when they kind of realize like, oh, it's hit you. Yeah. Like, and like, then you realize, and then you realize I'm laughing a little too loud and a little too long for what's appropriate for the situation. And then you kind of get this like, oh shit, you know, oh, I'm found out. Yeah. Inside your own head a little too much. Like, should I not be laughing about that? Right. But not smart inside your own head. Yeah. So I think it's fun, but I also appreciate like that you don't want to get high and drunk all the time. It kind of just starts to wear on you. Costs too much money. That too. And there's too much other stuff to have to do. And it's like a come down or you know, with alcohol for sure. It definitely makes me depressed, depending on what kind I drink, like the next day, you know. Same with weed. It's not good. Yeah. I think it has that effect on me as well. Yeah. So. Speaking of that yoga ball. This is a call from way back. I was clamped by my chair that gave up on me. So I use basically what's a lawn chair to work in. Did your grandma? My grandma, I guess, made it for Nick and I. She gave us both chairs, but I ended up with both of them because I think they had no room for one of them. Well, anyway, I worked in this chair a lot, and I guess I was a little too rough on it, but it's made with aluminum, and it's basically just a lawn chair, and it broke. And the way that it broke was it clamped me, like my whole body. The chair, the back went forward, and the seat part went up, and it, you know, my legs went up. Venus fly chair. Yeah, it Venus fly chaired me, and it was
an interesting experience.
Did you say that Charlie was he like freaking, or was he in the other room?
He probably was like, what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the thing dogs do whenever there's some thing going down. They run up to you, go, you okay?
Just look at you. Yeah, what are you doing? What's this fun thing you're doing?
What's wrong with you?
Can I get involved?
And I'm glad that didn't happen with the second chair, because the second chair broke as well.
It started to go, and then you were like, I don't want to do that again.
I don't want to be clamped.
It is gone. You are in the trash.
Mm-hmm.
You traitor. Betrayal.
Betrayed by my sitting implement. Would it be an implement?
Yeah. I don't know.
What is an implement?
It's a tool, I think. Do you use it to work in the garden? Then it could be an implement.
I mean, you could, I guess.
Yeah. I think it's more like equipment.
Wrestlers use it.
That's true. That is true.
Not in
That's
the
more
traditional
like a weapon.
sense.
That's funny. I need to stop saying that. That's funny. It's clearly funny by the laughter. Just a thing I say.
Sorry, I'm sniffing so much.
Fine. Oh yeah, we do need to watch that because editing around the sniffles and the coughing, which is hard because I was definitely coughing earlier, and I keep putting my hand up on my mouth.
Yeah, I do that too.
Get those boogers.
I feel the urge to touch my mouth
because it's just fun. Well, because you're just sitting here,
squishing my cheeks. I'm like,
you want to do something with your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, how are you doing today?
Yeah.
You're weird.
You got a nice full mouth.
Full mouth?
Well, it's full now. You know, full lips.
Teeth. Oh, full. Yeah, full lips. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Full mouth is a little bit. Your mouth is different from your lips. Your lips are a mouth-specific word. I'm starting to spit a lot.
That was good. That was good times.
Was it?
We should do like a whole episode like that. I'm just kidding.
Well, let's start now.
You made a new Facebook friend the other day.
I did.
So the caption of this sub-episode, Facebook friends for a day.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Do you approve of that?
I posted a thing, and yeah, that sounds fine. Caption it however it needs to be captioned.
Thank you. Take my artistic license. Yeah. And run with it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm running. So I posted a thing, and it got a lot of responses.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, it was great because he was posting stuff like videos, and they weren't getting a lot of likes on this digital artist page. And then he did research that we kind of suspected, but he actually confirmed. Oh, I blew a bubble. With that Facebook deprioritizes posts with URLs like that take you off of the site, basically. Because they want
to keep you on the
which
site.
Is understandable, but still feels kind of shitty, but whatever.
So I posted a thing that had an image that had a URL in the description, and it got like 2 or 3 reacts. And then the next couple days, I posted just an image with no URL, no website in the description, and it just blew up.
Yeah.
Like pretty hugely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only been like a day or two, and there's like 600 reacts and a bunch of shares.
Great. So it definitely proved that was the case, because without a URL, it got, it was just an image, so it got a bunch of likes, which is great because it's exposure. And then people were commenting super positive comments, which is nice because sometimes you get trolls or whatever.
Yeah, everybody was very nice for the most part.
Yeah,
so
and because you were nervous, like understandably, kind of like posting about the podcast. Like, what are people going to say? Even if they're not being harsh, it's just like, you're like commenting on this thing that I've created, or that I'm kind of putting myself out there. And so it was a really good result. But
then I got... Thanks, you're leading the witness.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Is that why you were laughing?
Well, you did start to... Yeah. No, just anticipating the weirdness. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got a lot of friend requests from other artists, and I was happy, I like when people have questions or like want some help, because there are a bunch of new artists out there that like the help.
Mm-hmm. And they might want to watch your videos, your instructional videos, and it's just like they're engaging in discussion about your work. They're excited about your work. What could be better?
Yeah, it's a nice feeling. So then I get this friend request, and the person's like, they start messaging me, and they're like, "Hi?" ? because
That's weird.
I assumed they misunderstood, because when you friend a person, it says like, say hi to such and such.
Oh.
So it prompts that. So I thought they were just confused. So I was
Oh.
like, I did the same. I responded the same way. I said, hi, ?
Mm.
And then they were like asking me where I lived and how old I was.
Oh, weird.
And then they said where they lived, and I was like, they said Iowa. And I was like, oh, cool, I have family there, you know. And I thought more would come of that. But then they were like, what are your hobbies? And I was like, I guess drawing.
Clearly from my post.
And then they respond with their hobbies, which are, I like hunting and this and that and this other thing. And do you like sex? And I just respond with just just like what? And then they say, do you like sex? Again, they just so repeat pushy. It. So then I just block them. I mean, that's a really anticlimactic thing. I could have like drawn it out and maybe like.
I think it's interesting and funny because it wasn't like an immediate assault of, fish for nudes or some kind of thing. It was like a little bit of a precursor, like pre-normal kind of.
You're acting kind of normal.
I guess it really progressed
like,
quickly.
You like sex?
Yeah, where are you from? Okay. But it's just a weird, but it probably was like, here, I'm fishing for people where I can, get them to sign up to this service or whatever. And
yeah, it was.
He just like calls me from the other room. Do you know how to unfriend somebody? Do you know how to block somebody?
Well, I know how to unfriend, but yeah. Do you know how to block? Because that's weird. Oh. And
yeah, it's just kind of funny. I said you should just respond and say yes. But yeah, no. Because then you would get spammed with, nude hot, chubbychicks.com or who knows.
Nudehotchubbychicks.com. that seemed very specific.
That was going to be two different websites, but.
Nudehotchubbychicks.com.
That just reminds me of when Tina was like, we were getting all these charges on the credit card. This is my aunt for like chubbychicks.com or something. And they like called the credit card company, and the credit card company was like, well, like, are you sure that there's someone in the house is not, like, you absolutely sure that your husband's not making these charges? And she's just like, look, he's got his own chubby chick at home. Like, he doesn't need to be going
to chubbychicks.com.
Exactly.
That's pretty funny of her to say that.
That cracked me up. So good.
Tina's funny.
They got the charges back.
He's got his own chubby chick at home.
It was good. Yeah. Which actually reminds me of another fraud kind of story.
Oh, okay.
Do you think it's okay to tell my mom's story? We could invite her on as a guest.
I don't know. I think it depends because it is about a real auditor.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not going to say his name or anything.
No, but I know. But like, so she was okay with that audit? There's no like.
Oh, weirdness? Yeah. No, I think that was like a long time ago.
Okay.
So.
Because audits are like serious things, right?
Yeah. But I'm not going to say like the name of the business or anything. So she's telling us this story the other day, and because we're talking about scammers and how you get calls from the quote unquote IRS, and how they say on the news, the IRS doesn't call you, they send you letters.
Mm-hmm.
And so at her business, one of the sales guys got a call and was like berating this person who was saying they were from the IRS, and it like went on for a while. And then finally my mom's listening and she's like, all right, let me talk to him. So she proceeds to berate this person, this, scammer, alleged scammer. And then I don't know. I shouldn't tell the story because I don't even remember, like, it just was so involved. And she's like, I was on the phone with the guy for 10 to 15 minutes, just like abusing him. Like, I'm not going to send you this. I'm not going to blah, blah, blah. She said, because it was like a cell phone number.
He kept calling her. Yeah. That's what happened.
Oh, okay.
He kept calling her.
Because they won't keep calling you back.
And she eventually looked him up. Instead of this guy. So I think it's fair that he was berated. Yeah. Because instead of him being smart and saying, this is not a scam. Mm-hmm. Here's the office I work at. Mm-hmm. Check it out.
Yeah.
That's all he would have to say to clear
Right,
it up. But
right.
rather than do that, like a normal human
Or say,
would,
call the county office, which is what she eventually did because she's like, this guy keeps calling. So now I'm having doubts.
any way he could have
Right.
cleared it up, rather than
Right.
like, I'm going to call and
Like
try
we
to
said,
talk to you.
Badge number. Give him the county office number. Give him whatever. And then
It just shows his intelligence.
So she
really.
calls, and like the whole time I'm like just operating on the assumption this is a scam. Good for you abusing this guy. And then she's like, so I call the county office, and I'm like, oh no. She's like, yeah, he works there.
And
he's calling from his cell phone for some reason.
Yeah.
You know.
He gave her, he did send stuff through the mail to her, but it didn't look official.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no like proper IRS letterhead, which I feel like anything that comes from an IRS
just with his name and his cell phone number on it.
Like it should be like law that they have like IRS. I mean, we have, you know, letterhead that is electronic, and you print the letter and on bond, and it has letterhead. Like that's not difficult. Even if you work from home, you can have that and do it from home. Oh my God.
No matter what.
So yeah.
There were so many easy ways around it, rather than just like letting it carry on. Just be a normal human.
Maybe he just liked the abuse. He's a masochist. He just wanted to call up and be abused by my mom. It was a thing. Anyway. So she apologized, but then it was like, yeah, I get it a lot. And also, yeah, why didn't you just give me your badge number or whatever the heck they call it at the IRS? Why didn't you blah, blah, blah? There were so many ways,
any number of things rather than just like, yeah. And the fact that he was aware
from the IRS, you know, there goes Steve again, you know, anyway, but like, it was just like, I'm pissed at you also because you let me mortify myself by just, you know, slinging abuse at you on multiple occasions. You idiot.
You know what it could be as well? A way to prolong
that job.
Doing his job or not doing his job.
That's true.
A way to like just prolong this laziness. Like, oh, I'll leave her a message and she'll call back and say I'm stupid or whatever.
Right.
And, you know, so I don't have to do my job for another day.
Yeah.
That could be what it really was.
That's true. Well, I think they probably work on multiple.
Because
I don't think they can afford to have a guy just working on one
Any
case.
person with a sliver of a brain would have said, no, I think it's totally fair to say that. You're an adult.
Yeah.
You've been through this multiple times. If you have a sliver of a brain, you should be able to say, here's my badge number, or here's the office I work at. I'm not lying to you. This is not a scam. Let's deal with this.
Right.
But instead, he let it carry on.
And was maybe a bit too passive or something, just because I think if you don't have authority in your voice and, you know, of course, with like mastery
even if
of
you
English, you know, because a lot of times these calls are like from out of the country or whatever. But, you know, if you have authority and you just have a protocol of like, okay, clearly this person thinks I'm a scammer. But then he said also the news tells people we don't call people, we send letters. And he's like, that is absolutely not true. And we keep telling the news sources to not put that out there because we do call people, especially if it's an audit. You know, we call you to then like set up to notify you you're being audited and to set up, you know, meetings or exchanging
but, you know,
records.
You probably get paperwork first.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
Right.
Then they call you. Once it's established that there's a case.
If it's not on letterhead from this local guy.
Drawn in crayon. Fucking idiots. They're idiots.
I thought, well, maybe if you're mad and you're just berating someone, like maybe you are missing some key signs, like maybe he is off. But I think she was like, yeah, he didn't give us an ID number or anything. He didn't say try to call this number. And yet when she said, I'm really sorry, he's like, oh, it happens all the time.
Then
that's
fix
why
it,
probably it happens all the time. Because you sound like a freaking scammer.
Oh my gosh.
You idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Here's my card.
But,
it's like, or wait, no, why would they have a card?
I don't.
Here, they just send you, send you mail that's just like a piece of bent up cardboard with crayon on it.
Oh, such a good story though. Because the whole time she's telling this story, I didn't even think that it was like a real thing until she said, so I called the local county office and I was like, oh shit.
She told that story really well.
She did tell it
because
really well.
I was thinking, oh, you got a call from a scammer? I was thinking it was a scammer the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. She got us.
She did a really good job telling that story.
I was just so like appalled on her behalf. And then appalled like, yeah, you let me talk shit to you forever and multiple times.
And she, you know.
You got what you deserved.
And
now let's commence with this audit.
But you don't want to say what you want. You
Right.
don't say what you want to say to this idiot because you don't want them like making your life
freaking
miserable.
up your audit. Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
Oh man, such a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm. Some stuff that seems very clear to us that should be, I think, clear to other people is not. Just communicating. I'm like, why didn't you just say? I don't know. I could go into examples, but maybe I shouldn't because end up offending somebody. God forbid. But really, I don't want to hurt. I don't want to hurt people. Click.
Click. Thank you all for watching.
They're not watching.
Thank you all for listening.